Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Assemble. It is September 27th. My name is High Ruler, and today guys, we have a short but kind of sweet episode planned. We have quite a bit of leaks that we're going to have to talk about today. So if you are very much so against leaks, you want to be kind of kept in the dark, I'll make sure I tell you guys exactly when we're going to start talking about leaks. We got a Paul Tassi article to kind of talk about. I'm not going to read it, but we're going to kind of go over it. Then we have TGS to talk about, which happened last night, and then we'll get into the leaks. And for people who are kind of who are listening on Spotify and iTunes and TalkShoe, I'm gonna apologize ahead to you guys because there's gonna be a few things here that are very visually focused with regards to pictures and videos and all sorts of good stuff like that. So once again, my apologies for people who are listening. I'll try to do my best to kind of describe what we're looking at here. But yeah, why don't we get right into it? All right, so the article that came out by Paul, it came out this morning actually. It kind of talks about the Endgame gameplay loop, and I think I've talked about this on stream over the past week and a bit, where the Endgame gameplay loop just really isn't there yet. Admittedly it is fun, but in terms of optimizing, in terms of running certain missions, in terms of everything to do to kind of get better gear, it just doesn't work right now. And my thoughts are, when you compare something like this, so this being Avengers, to a game like Destiny, the armor on Destiny is okay after Armor 2.0, but a lot of the fun comes from chasing guns, right? Whether you're doing a mission for Bad Juju or Whisper, or you get a new AR, you get a new you get a new any kind of weapon, and you can kind of tell where the weapon fits and what kind of things that the weapon can do, and then you have your armor to kind of play around, whatever your weapon loadouts are. And when I look at Avengers, we don't really have weapons to chase after. It's all armor. And I think, to me personally, that's kind of where the issues lie. You think about even The Division, or even Anthem, for example. Without a weapon to kind of chase, what do we have, right? And like, obviously there's like the shields, and there's like ways, you look at the item list and you could probably infer that maybe you could do something there. But I just look at kind of the gear loadouts that we have, and what if we had Iron Man's repulsors or Iron Man's fists as like a weapon, right? And there's certain ones that interact with Rocket's missiles or whatever, or Hulk's fist, or Cap's shield, or Mjolnir, or Miss Marvel's fist. Like, there has to be a way. There has to be fun things for us to chase, and regardless of like optimization of like running for loot and anything like that, I think without a set item that we're chasing for, and we're just chasing for armor, I think we're gonna have a really bad time in the future. And that's just my opinion. Now, the Paul Tassi's article here kind of differs in the way that he goes about it. Obviously, when I've talked about loot, I want loot that's fun, that's crazy, that's out there. And now, obviously I want loot that is an equivalent to like a Destiny gun. A lot of what he talks about are the exotic sources, the villain sectors, the special missions, the mega hives, materials farming. The name gear is extremely weird now, and then Black Widow. So I would definitely say, guys, like I'm not gonna obviously rip off his work and like go over his work, but for anyone who really enjoys Avengers and like the content, even any sort of like Destiny content, I would say Paul is a very informative person to read. Even engage with him on Twitter. He's really good, and I highly recommend kind of just reading his stuff. I'll put it in the link in the description on the YouTube video for anyone who's kind of interested in just kind of reading what he has to say. I don't really like to promote people unless I kind of agree with like what they're saying. Like, obviously Be More last week, and now Paul this week, just because I feel like there's definitely a lot of good people out there that are putting a lot of good content out and asking a lot of good questions. And Paul is definitely one of them for sure. So let's now talk about... I'm trying to figure out what I want to talk about next. So I'm going to talk about Assembler's World, actually. So Assembler's World, I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this yet because it's a community kind of page, and I haven't really done a lot of kind of scoping out on it yet. So we're gonna kind of learn this together, guys. Obviously, that's it's gonna be kind of interesting. So the goal behind Assembler's World is that it is equivalent to, but not with the same functionality as Destiny Item Manager, I believe. So the idea behind this, now, if you guys aren't looking at my screen right now, you're watching on or listening to on Spotify or iTunes or TalkShoe. Kind of what we're going through now is a like a build page. This is an item page. It kind of shows you items and all the breakdowns for it, stat wise, and kind of the inscriptions or the perks that each gear piece has. At the top, you can kind of click on the hero. So obviously, I'm a Captain America main. So I click cap, and then it shows exactly where, or sorry, it shows exactly which items. It shows, kind of what I can get on it, the stats for it. So, one of the things I would love to see is, I don't know if we can break this down without really getting into the game, but one of the things I would love to see is where do these items most often drop. But I think we can't really do that. But I'd love to know, say I wanted the amplifier of the first Avengers, the named gear. What are the chances out of all the missions for me to get the amplifier or the armor of the nomad, right? Like for someone who's like new coming into the game, it'd be perfect, right? And then we have switch to perks at the top. Ooh, it gives you all the breakdowns of the perks for each character. Ooh. Well, that's interesting. Wow, okay. So you can see the perks. And then builder, so it looks like you can build. Is this where you can build out like a? I don't know what this is. I'm gonna have to play around with the site a little bit more, guys. But I definitely, like, before I started recording, I had come across this on Twitter, and I just kind of wanted to take a peek at it. Shows you guides. Okay. It shows you where to grab all these materials at. So for the Polychron faction missions, faction assignments, first completion of select late game activities, which are end game activities for people that don't know. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So I'm going to put this site down at the bottom too, guys. This is definitely like a very interesting site. And obviously with community fan-made websites like this, obviously, they usually start off a little slower, and obviously build into something. I mean, for the Destiny community, Dim wasn't, built in a day, for example, right? So this is definitely interesting. I'd love for I don't know if the builder doesn't work. I would love to be able to build out a build on the website, pick the perks, pick the stats, and then find out what kind of works and what doesn't, and then go out and chase that on the game itself, right? And that's what I thought it was going to do when I said builder. But it doesn't look like it's doing that, or it's not doing it right with my browser extensions. It says build assembler, so you would think. Huh, interesting. Okay. All right, well, I mean, definitely something I'm going to keep a look on. So that's assemblers.world. I'm going to put the link in the YouTube description. Definitely an interesting kind of site, and definitely something I'm going to keep my eyes on as more functionality kind of gets added to it. I'm definitely interested in seeing kind of where it goes. One thing about Destiny I will say is that the ability of the API and everything around the API for, DIM and all these other kind of things definitely is something that other games should take advantage of. I don't know if Division has anything like that. But Avengers having something like that, so you can just like swap gear in and out, is something that we should really take advantage of, and something that CD should take advantage of, because that right there is like a huge boost, right? So maybe one day, right? Maybe one day. What we've seen from Crystal Dynamics is that Crystal Dynamics is very interested in working with the community through communications and feedback and everything like that. They've been really good about kind of having that two-way conversation. So if this is something, down the line, once all the bugs are kind of patched out, and we have some good content that's kind of rolling at a reasonable pace, this might be something that they could probably get started on, and hopefully give us, man. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. All right, so that is Assembler's World. Whew, all right, man. I'm trying to fly through a little bit of this stuff, guys, because we got quite a few leaks that we got to talk about, man. Um, there's some stuff here. We got some audio clips. We got some pictures. We got quite a few things to talk about here. So, yeah. So let's talk about Tokyo Game Show. So for you guys who don't know the Twitter I'm looking at Miller, and that is at 8Ms ILLER on Twitter. He is the prime leaker of Avengers content. So if you guys do like leaks, he's the prime guy to kind of talk to and kind of follow. So I'm not going to show any leaks in this part. I'll tell you guys as always when I'm going to leak some stuff for you. So what I'm going to do right now is just so last night was Tokyo Game Show. I was awake for it. I obviously don't speak Japanese because I can't even speak French, and I live in a country that has 2 official languages, so the chances of me speaking Japanese are just about 0. So luckily Miller speaks Japanese, or can at least translate it. So he kind of covered a lot of the presentation, and I won't go over all of his tweets, guys, but like, man, for anyone who was kind of watching this and looking for some new content or some new information, it wasn't there, man. It wasn't there. A lot of what they covered was just like pretty much stuff that if you've been following, whether it's Assemble or the community or even just playing the game, it's the stuff that we already know, right? It's the stuff that you've played through. This whole Tokyo Game Show presentation was to entice people to either come back to the game who bought it day one and kind of just put it down, or it's to entice people to now buy the game. So a lot of the stuff they talked about was, they obviously showed the CGI trailer, which is Japanese dub. They kind of just played through a little bit of the game. They showed the beginning of the campaign. They talked about, the kind of the situation, which is really interesting. But I guess it's so out there now that you can't really avoid it. But they talked about the glitches and the patches. So kind of where everything kind of is, and the steps that Crystal Dynamics has been taking to kind of, rid of all those glitches and kind of get the game in a state where it's really good. So they kind of talked about that. So a lot of it was just basically a fluff. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, this game kind of needs that fluff right now. Without the fluff, you're going to have, people just kind of talking about the bad, right? And if you guys were watching last night, there was quite a few people in the YouTube chat. And let me be honest. YouTube chat is nothing compared to Twitch chat. All right, if you guys are like watchers of live streams, or you kind of just pay attention to the way things kind of go on those websites, YouTube chat is not as brutal as Twitch chat. Twitch chat by far, when it comes to big events with corporate, kind of entities and kind of corporate streams and games and whatnot, Twitch chat is ruthless. So YouTube chat was kind of like, oh, Avengers sucks, Avengers this, Avengers that, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, you guys are nothing. Like, there's obviously people that like take offense to that and they go and argue in the chat or whatever, but I'm just like, guys, like, it's not worth it, man. Yeah, so obviously there was some haters in there, and without kind of giving the fluff and kind of getting the fluff out, it really makes a really tough kind of atmosphere around the game right now. So while I was, tentatively hopeful for some new information, I don't blame them for taking the safe route and just kind of showing them, kind of everything the game has to offer currently. Obviously I believe they showed the Hawkeye trailer. I kind of tuned out before then, but I do believe they showed the Hawkeye trailer and everything. So it was okay. It was an okay event. I think we're going to hear new content and talk about new content when the War Table comes out. It's the end of September this week into October. Do we expect a War Table this week? I'm gonna say I would be very surprised if we left this week without a War Table event. I think a War Table event this week where we get new information is probably, I would say, 50-50. Because I think what they're going to want to do is address September, right? They're going to want to set the stage for October with Kate Bishop, Substation Zero, the operation. And I think leading into October with that, like kind of, hey guys, we had a really rough September, but here's what October has planned. Whether it's some events, some community challenges, more stuff to engage us with. I think setting the stage for a good October early is really what they need to do right now. So I would say I'm gonna hope for a War Table event this week, but I'm not gonna tell you guys to get excited for a War Table event this week. I just have the feeling that it's gonna be there, it's gonna be happening, and if I'm wrong, you guys will find out. Within the next few days, obviously. And you know what? If I'm wrong, then uh-oh. That's all I gotta say. Uh-oh. So let's hold out hope, man, and let's kind of see. Yeah, but yeah, we were never gonna get anything new out of Tokyo Game Show, I don't think. I think people were hoping that we'd get something new out of Tokyo Game Show. But the problem is, man, I don't it's tough to say like where the priorities lie when it comes to announcing stuff. Normally, you announce, like, Tokyo Game Show is very good at, when you announce stuff, but it's usually Japanese like focus, right? Obviously, when you talk about Tokyo Game Show, it's a very Japan centric kind of event. It's on the scale of like a PAX, but it's very more so focused on, the Japanese demographics and everything going on there. So it's tough to say whether people should have gotten excited for some sort of announcement there, rather than Crystal Dynamics kind of handling the announcement themselves. Um, I think when it comes to big events like that, unless it's like a Sony event or something like that, obviously, kind of temper your expectations until Crystal Dynamics kind of comes out and says like, says something. I just don't want people to get their hopes up again for like an event that maybe Square Enix is going to be at and thinking, oh my god, it's going to be Avengers stuff. Like, for the most part, this stuff is very much so going to be fluff around kind of the game as is and not kind of the game what it's going to be, right? So that's kind of where my thoughts are at with regards to like a Tokyo Game Show, or even like next year, say Avengers does really well going into 2021, right? Spider-Man and all these other leaked characters, right? And then maybe they decide, let's do a PAX event. Let's go to PAX, right? I'd be very wary of like thinking like a big event means announcements, right? A big event means eyeballs more than anything. And like obviously, the more eyeballs you have, the more, maybe you're more inclined to kind of announce something. But sorry guys, I also have a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a cold, but whew, I don't know, man. The last few weeks I've just been sick, so you guys have to bear with me. Sorry about that. But I digress. But I would just be very wary of seeing like your favorite game at a big event and think automatically that means future content announcements. But who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, so when it comes to Tokyo Game Show, obviously, we're walking away with nothing. But I think that would sting less if we knew kind of where everything was going, And I mean, that's a perfect segue because now I want to talk to you guys about some leaks. So if you're totally leak adjacent, if you don't want any leaks whatsoever, you hate leaks, you don't want to know, you just want to find out when, through a war table or through the game actually patching, like, this is your warning, guys. This is it. So I would say thank you guys so much for listening and watching Assemble. I really do appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys later this week, whether it's a weekly blog or a patch notes, and or even next weekend for an episode of Assemble. All right, guys, it is time now for the leaks. So as you can see right on the front of my screen, so once again, for people who are watching or listening, I keep saying watching, for people who are listening on Spotify or iTunes, I'm going to describe to you guys what we're looking at. So right now, we are looking at a picture of a fully modeled War Machine. So it looks like War Machine looks pretty sleek. He looks pretty good. He looks a little bulkier than some Iron Man. Obviously, the gauntlets a little bulkier. Looks like they have some weapons at the end. The right one looks like it has some more weapons on it than the left one. Obviously, on his left shoulder, he has looks to be a little missile launcher. Looks to have 2 small missiles, and then on the right shoulder, it looks to be like a Gatling gun kind of assortment going on. Looks really, 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 really cool. So that was the big leak that came out of Miller the other night. One of many leaks, I should say, but this was kind of like the crowning leak, just because of everything going on. So that right there is really, really cool. I'm excited for War Machine. I think War Machine's always been a cool character. I think War Machine hasn't really gotten the love that you would think and that he probably deserves. But hopefully, kind of the way they envision him, the way that he's coming, it looks to be like so far so good. You know what I mean? So that right there was just kind of the first of many. So we're just gonna kind of go through my tabs at the top here. So let's close that one. So what is this? So this was Miller's Twitter from the other night. He's just talking about leaking everything. I'm going to link his Twitter down too in the description. I would definitely say pay attention to a lot of his stuff. You know, he's making jokes that like Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics are going to come after him and like, you know, cease and desist everything that he's got. Maybe, but you know, he's doing some good stuff, man. He's doing some good stuff. I would say for everyone who's hating on Miller or the leakers in general, I would say the leakers are people who are keeping the hype going, right? Obviously, it's tough when there's a marketing schedule and there's everything going on, especially right now with regards to the overall feeling on the game. If you kind of look at the discussion centered around the PC population, I mean they're averaging 5K people, you know, and it's a really dark time right now. You know, obviously there's some hope with things going on, like patch 1.31, with regards to some fixes. Obviously they fixed, you know, the missions, so you can get your villain sector missions daily again. But you know, in regards to a lot of the stuff, it just seems like it's a very bleak time. So when you have a leaker like this, and he's like, "Hey guys, like here's a bunch of cool stuff that is going to come to the game," you know, it gives people that hope, right? It's like that light that's far away that, you know, you're kind of going towards, and it kind of gives people that sense of like this game's going somewhere, you know. So I would say, like, obviously, whether you hate leaks or you don't like them, I would say leakers do an important job. And Miller, obviously, you know, for people that don't know, he knows what Black Panther is going to look like, right? He's seen Black Panther, he's seen the model, but out of respect for, you know, Chadwick and the situation and Crystal Dynamics and how they want to talk about him, he didn't leak it. You know, he totally said, you know, that's not for me to do, right? So I would say definitely Miller is one of the good guys, man. 100%. I would say, you know, kind of keep up to date with what he's doing. This isn't someone that's just leaking for clout, man. He obviously cares for the game. He cares for everything about it. He cares for the community. And he cares for Crystal Dynamics too. Right? Obviously, he doesn't want to, you know, spoil something that's going to be really important. So he's one of the good guys, man. 100%. 100%. All right, so let's close this tab now. So this was something he leaked as well. This is the Super Adaptoid. So this is going to be a villain in the future. This was on the 23rd, so it was 4 days ago. So let's read what he said. So he says, dug some more into Super Adaptoid. He can embiggen, throw his hammer and shield, shoot a beam from his chest, teleport, and has some clone-related functionality, either creating a clone or AI behavior to interact with Kate's hologram projection, if that is indeed how her support heroic works. I want to say this means he's likely to be Kate's boss, but those unnamed melee attacks could include some from Clint and T'Challa and Jennifer, which is She-Hulk. And the chest beam could act as a reference to both Iron Man and War Machine, so I hesitate to say definitively that he's coming sooner than later. With that said, he's probably taking AIM's final boss. There's no other unreleased boss with as much data in the client as him, and surely his riff on Clint would be something more iconic than a sword slash, no? So this guy looks pretty freaking cool, man. This to me is I would love to see him as a villain sector boss. You know, obviously we need some, you know, kind of we need some, you know, kind of cool like bosses other than, you know, Taskmaster and Abomination. For reference, the other night I was playing and I had to do 2 Taskmaster missions for my villain sectors. And let me tell you, dude, fighting Taskmaster twice, fine, but it's just super boring, you know? So I think regardless of how the super adaptoid is in, so you know, let me backtrack a little bit here. For the audio listeners, the super adaptoid is pretty much a super buff kind of robot with some green tint all around him. He's got the Captain America star on his chest. He's basically like an amalgamation of all the heroes. He's carrying a shield. He's carrying a hammer. He looks super badass. He is the face of Iron Man or War Machine. Like, he looks really cool. He looks super cool. And if that's someone that we have to fight, I'm super excited to fight him, you know? Regardless of how it is. Obviously, he might be an operation boss. But you know, I would love to see him as well. You know, if he, you know, say for example in the game he's like, oh, he can clone himself. You know, how cool would it be if he cloned himself and gave us like another daily sector boss or villain sector boss to fight, right? So really cool, really excited. This is a really cool leak. Anything with regards to villains I think is really good because we've so little of them. So anything that kind of tells us like what we're going to be fighting in the future is like going to be really good, because right now it's like, oh, I log in, okay, well, I play against Abomination, I play against Taskmaster, maybe I play against a few little robots, who knows, whatever, same thing every day. You give someone like this though, and this kind of throws a little wrench into the mix. He kind of is a little different but a little same. You know, I don't mind them going this route right away. Obviously, you know, kind of the more that they do this stuff though in the short term, I hope in the long term a Red Hulk, a you know, give me other villains, right? Like what's it, Batroc the Leaper, give me Zemo or Zemo, sorry. You know, give me all sorts of different stuff, right? Give me different villains that we can fight. But you know, maybe this is just a kind of tied over, who knows, we'll have to wait and see when he's released, but definitely very cool this far. All right, so that is Paul's Twitter. All right, so what we have now, guys, is we have some, let me do this for you guys so you guys can hear. So what we have now, guys, is we have some voice clips. So let's just kind of go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 voice clips, and let's just kind of hear the first one here.
You've almost won. Keep up the pressure.
So I don't know who that is. I'm not entirely sure who that is. Let's listen to it again.
You've almost won. Keep up the pressure.
I'm not sure who that is. You've almost won. Keep up the pressure. I'm not 100% sure who that is right now. I don't know. Some people were speculating that could be Vision's voice. I'm not sure if I would say that's Villain's or Vision's voice. We've heard Hawkeye's voice, right? So I don't think that's Hawkeye. That doesn't sound like a Bucky to me. It doesn't sound like a T'Challa. Doesn't sound like a Spider-Man. So I'm not entirely sure who that is right now. I'm not sure where the community lies either with it, but we'll have to wait and see kind of where that all leads to. So that's one.
You've almost won. Keep up the pressure.
So that's same one. Great job, Jonathan.
Oh, hi, Spider-Man.
Oh, there we go. So there we go. So this is Miss Marvel saying hey to Spider-Man. So let's listen to it again.
Oh, hi, Spider-Man.
That's cool. You know, it's nice to hear that Spider-Man's coming, you know? It's really nice to hear that that, you know, obviously like we know Spider-Man's coming, and like if you're a PC or an Xbox guy, like I'm so sorry, dude. I'm really so fucking sorry. I talked about it a little. I don't like that Spider-Man's gonna be platform exclusive. I understand why it happened in a business sense. I hate it from a fan sense. But just on a note where it's like, it's just nice to hear that he's coming. You know, it's just to be like, yeah, this is Spider-Man. He's coming, and there's like a little bit more proof to it. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so that's the Spider-Man one.
Welcome aboard, Barnes.
So this is, I believe, Maria Hill welcoming Bucky to the. It's either going to be the helicarrier or it's going to be Substation Zero. So let's listen to it one more time.
Welcome aboard, Barnes.
So there we go. Really cool. I think Bucky's going to be a really fun character. Bucky should be a fun character. Let me just say that. All right, so let's go to the next one.
Hi, Carol.
So this is Cap talking to Captain Marvel, just saying, "Hey, Carol." So listen to it again.
Hi, Carol.
There we go. There we go. I think that's Cap, right? Doesn't sound. Is that Cap?
Hi, Carol.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Then maybe that's not Cap. I don't know. If that's not Cap, who is it? Interesting. All right, if you guys want to leave me a comment down below, or reach me on Twitter, let me know who you guys think that is. That I want to say that's Cap, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. All right, let's go to the next one.
Let me know if you need anything, King T'Challa.
Oh, that's cool too. I don't know who that. That's not Maria Hill, right? That's someone from the. That's not someone from the Anthill, is it? I forget the name of the person. Oh no. But listen to the way she says King T'Challa. Like she's very nervous about being in his presence.
Let me know if you need anything, King T'Challa.
Like she's very nervous being around him. That means like whatever iteration of like Black Panther they're going for, there's like this aura about him, right? Like there's this aura about, you know, kind of his presence and like what he exudes when he's around people. That is going to be cool. Like it's more so like the interactions and like how they present these characters that kind of make the world that you play in. So this one right here is really good. Really good.
Right. Howdy, Jen. Howdy, Jen. Howdy, Jen.
Oops. So this looks to be Maria Hill again, kind of talking to She-Hulk, just saying howdy, Jen. She-Hulk, one of those characters too that's also going to be kind of coming, and you know, obviously, you know, one of the characters that is, you know, people are definitely excited for. I'm excited for She-Hulk as well. She-Hulk definitely has the ability to play almost like a Hulk, but with a little more agility to her, which is going to make a very interesting dynamic. You know, if you've been paying attention to a lot of the community right now, a lot of the community has been very much so complaining about where Hulk is. And I think a lot of it comes down to like the size and the way Hulk moves, and obviously Hulk is kind of a little squishy depending on how you build him. But I think, you know, if you take like the strength and the raw power and like the way Hulk plays, and then you put it in like a smaller frame that has a little more maneuverability, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very high on She-Hulk when she drops. A lot of people are going to really enjoy She-Hulk, I think. So that's it for the audio recordings, guys. I think those were all of them, right? That was 7 or 6, I believe, because one was a duplicate, right? So obviously there's a lot of good stuff there. Just kind of like more confirmation about things that are coming, things that are happening. I wouldn't say put stock into those things happening anytime soon. The way you kind of, you know, hire voice actors is you get them all in at once. You record lines even if you don't need them right away. Just because it's, you know, just the way things are. You hire them, get them in for, you know, a set amount of time at the start. And even if you don't use those lines for 3-4 months, they're there, they're recorded, and you don't have to wait on someone like getting into a studio booth, right? So, you know, obviously, you know, I would say all these characters are probably within like the next 7 months, 7-8 months. Depending on if they do one a month or, you know, one every month and a half. I don't think it's gonna be one every 2 months. I don't think the game will survive, based on, you know, the way the community's feeling right now. So I would say like one every month would probably be a good place to bet. And yeah, that's pretty cool. It's just cool listening to that stuff, honestly. So let's kind of dive deep now into Rick Stadler. And Rick Stadler is a senior UI art director, I believe, with Crystal Dynamics that worked on he worked on the game, or he works on the game, I believe. So let's just kind of read the description here at the side. So this is going to be a very visual kind of topic, guys. I'll do my best to kind of help with regards to The audio listeners. But my apologies if it's not like a very clear kind of one-to-one, obviously. So let's just kind of break this down. And on the at the right side here, it says game art designed for use in the UI and HUD for the game The Marvel Avengers. There were many days, nights, and weekends spent with iterations, bug fixes, and action script code. I owned the following features in game. In addition to these responsibilities, I was tasked with designing the UX flow for the Quinjet and the mission ready-up scenarios for the multiplayer portions of the game and various emotes and icons created across the game. So, and then he goes into banter tracker, combat UI system, dialogue system, all hero emotes, front end, which is the main menu, game feed, loading screens, nameplates, party screen, requisitions, spectator mode, and tutorials. Okay, so the first one, obviously, it looks to be, what is this? So we're looking at Jarvis, which is Stark Industries' AI assistant. It looks to be, I don't know what I'm looking at here. At the top it says unlock, create, customize, quantize, and key forge. And it looks to have the, what? Okay. Melee. Then it has the green, blue, purple, gold, and then exotic, right? So that's, what's that? Common, rare, epic, legendary, exotic. Interesting. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. Okay, so here we got just kind of a mission here. Iron Man kind of, just in front and center. You have some gear dropping, epic defense gear, and rare melee gear. Then it just shows your abilities. This looks very early. With regards to kind of how it all looks. But everything does kind of look very similar to kind of how it all shaped out in the end, obviously. Just kind of like the way everything looks changes, but the layout is pretty much the same, right? At the left, we have Skywatch intro, destroy the AIM server cores to gain access to the secure facility. I know Miller talked about Skywatch intro, and with regards to kind of what it was iterations ago, but I don't think it's anything now. Like, I think it might have just been a code name. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Miller knows more, obviously, than I do. So the next picture that we're looking at is the loading screen. Skywatch was Avengers Initiative. That's what it was. So instead of now it's saying Avengers Initiative, it would say like campaign, Avengers Initiative, then like marketplace at the bottom when you load up the game. It used to be Skywatch. So that's the difference. Okay, perfect. So the next picture, like I said, we're looking at is the opening screen of the game. And this was very early because it says new game at the bottom, then Skywatch, news, marketplace, settings. So the characters that they're showing, though, are Black Widow in the exclusive red suit. So I got this suit from winning the Intel competition. It has an Iron Man skin that we've all seen in the game so far. It's the Chroma Lux skin, I believe. That has a cap in a World War II-esque skin with a brown leather jacket. I don't think we've seen this one. We've seen one similar in the black leather jacket, I believe, but not in the brown. It looks really good in the brown, though. Now, here's something. Now we have a Hulk in the Maestro skin. Now, this is really, 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 really cool. I want this skin. Give me this skin. It's nice to know that this skin exists. I think they're sitting on skins, man. I said this, I think I said this in the weekly blog post this week, where I said I think they're sitting on skins. I don't think there's no way that they don't have a bunch of skins ready to go to rotate in. I think with the way the game has kind of played out with all the bugs and the glitches, I think to them, if they start doling out really good skins, people are going to be like, why are you charging for skins when your game is in a bad state? I think they're sitting on a lot of good stuff, man. And this Maestro skin really, 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 really proves that to me more than anything. This Maestro skin looks absolutely phenomenal. I want it. Trust me, it shows up in the marketplace. that credit card's being rung up, man. I need it, dude. I fucking need it. I've been playing a lot of Hulk too, so if I had a Maestro skin, chef's kiss, baby, chef's kiss. All right, let me change topics before I start talking about that anymore. Now we have a Miss Marvel skin. Obviously, I think this is a recolor. I definitely believe this is a recolor. So it has the long jacket. She's got the fluffy hat, the purple pants. It has oh god, what is his name? The Inhuman dog. Oh no, Lockjaw. Yes, Lockjaw. Lockjaw's on the front of her shirt. I don't think I've ever seen Lockjaw on the front of her shirt. But that's a nice little tease. That's gonna just hold on a sec. Just keep Lockjaw in your mind. Keep Lockjaw in your mind. And then we have a Thor skin. Obviously, this is, I believe, this is a recolor of the Royal Assyrian skin that's currently exclusive on the PS4. I do believe it's similar, if not a recolor of it. But this is a really good Thor skin as well. This is something I would buy and use. So yeah, so that Maestro skin, man, good god. So that next page is installing language. It just shows like it's installing a language. And then we have a screen here just showing you know, some Iron Man skins. At the bottom it shows exotic patterns, legendary patterns, epic patterns, rare patterns, and common patterns. Maybe this is proof that, you know, there might be exotic skins coming. Now, what kind of things do exotic skins have? We may find out. But at the very least, there was plans for exotic skins and patterns to go with them. Whether those plans have changed or not will remain to be seen. So next we have the gear screen. This looks pretty similar to everything that we've seen thus far. Credit batches. I don't think we have those, right? Credits used in the online marketplace to allow purchasing of cosmetics items. Then it shows credit batches, which is 25 credits, 50 credits, and 100 credits. I don't know if that's something that they're planning to bring out, but I don't think I've seen that mentioned aside from this picture. Everything else looks to be pretty much the same. Obviously, you know, some layouts are different with regards to like where the resources are, but everything's still pretty the same there. One thing I will say is like the locations and kind of the way everything. Obviously, the artifacts are on the right side without them being closer to the actual gear on the left now, which means like your character is like center focused. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's visually pleasing, but in terms of like looking for all your gear, especially on console, like dragging the indicator all the way over, kind of annoying. Glad they didn't do this. On PC, this would probably be okay. But on console, it's kind of annoying. So it looks to be another kind of mission screen, you know, gameplay screen. This is where some things are a little different here. So obviously at the top right, you guys will notice instead of the names and the health bars listed, it is the character portraits and health bars listed. It's okay. Everything else kind of similar, not too much there. This is the challenge card UI. For the most part, it's pretty similar. You know, just obviously the layout of the weekly challenges, instead of being side by side, they're stacked together. And obviously these are more open, so you can actually see what you have to do without hovering over them. I kind of like that better. You know, kind of the way the challenge card looks is different. I don't know what I like better. I think I might like this better, actually. But all in all, not too big of a change. Same thing there. Same thing there. Obviously, now we have a war table look. And this war table looks very different than what we have. Gold Coast, Pacific Northwest, American Southwest, Arctic Tundra. Just the way everything looks is very different. I actually kind of like this. Quick match and quick play at the bottom. I wonder what that means. Obviously, quick match is, you know, get you in with a bunch of people. I wonder what quick play is. Interesting. Okay. Same thing again, just another iteration on it. Different, like I guess this is probably like a second iteration of the war table. What has changed here? The icons have changed. Instead of being big circles, they're now kind of cut into smaller images, I guess, to take up less space. I guess they get bigger when you hover over them or you click them, as seen by the helicarrier one being significantly bigger than the rest of them. Okay. Then we have some more images of a war table. I guess these are, the icons of the missions. So we have a skull. We have looks to be, I don't know what that is. It's like a 75% of a circle with a smaller full circle in between, and then it's a shield around it. But I don't think the shield signifies anything because, obviously we have a skull, but then the skull's inside what looks to be the shape of like a police badge. So I don't know. That imagery though, and then we have a hero level up kind of screen. And when I say screen, I mean at the bottom, wherever the gameplay would be, or whatever screen it is, it says hero leveled up with 1 skill point earned under it. Okay. So then we have a skill page, and this is for Captain America. So it says skills regeneration, and then it says regeneration, regen boost, regain, close call, true healer, invigoration, fighting spirit. And then skills agility, which is multi-reflect jump, longer wall run, armored run, slide attack. And then skills steamroller. So then it says steamroller, heavy roller, rock and roll, battering ram. And then skills shield throw. And then it's ricochet throw, pachinko, hyper throw, boomerang, saw blade. And then skills Brooklyn brawler. And then it's Brooklyn brawler, shadow boxer, iron knuckles, brass knuckles, invincible, untouchable, and street hero. So I guess these are just names of skills and kind of how it all would shake out. There's no real UI here to kind of do anything with or like even add things to. So I think this is just kind of a way that they would kind of separate skills and kind of. I want to say this might be for internal use. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Or maybe oh no, you know what? These are all just the icons for them. I would imagine these are all just the icons for them. And then obviously these icons would then be used within the actual game itself to kind of break everything down. So these are just the icons, I believe. Never mind. I was wrong, but then I was right. So then we have the collection icons, which are Intel files, audio files, news, email, chat. And then the intelligence sets, which are the folders. So it's Intel file, audio file, news, email, chat, and then undiscovered. And then intelligence, which are the singles, which is Intel file, audio file, news, email, chat. And then codex, which is enemy, location, then general. So pretty standard icons. I don't think they've changed too much from what we see in the game. So character / factions. So here we go a little bit here, guys. So heroes, we have Miss Marvel, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Black Panther, Black Widow, War Machine, and then Inhumans. Inhumans right here. Characters / factions. Inhumans is in the heroes section. So what does this mean? What does this mean? I think more than anything, and people kind of know what I'm all about, and I think at the start of Assemble and streaming the game, one of the things I said is I was very disappointed that they did an Inhuman storyline without the emergence of the royal family. And I doubled down on that. Well, this was me doubling down because I said the exact same thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. How are you going to have an Inhuman storyline without the royal family involved? And then obviously we got the ABC Inhumans show, which was straight trash. But I think this is proof enough that they do have plans for the Inhumans, and I hope that it's the royal family. Medusa, Crystal, Black Bull, give me Lockjaw, make Lockjaw like an ability that you can call on, like an ultimate ability. Give me them. Give me the royal family. I want the royal family. Yeah, that's all I can say. So War Machine, obviously his logo's here, really cool. Black Panther's logo looks phenomenal. That is crazy looking right there. That is beautiful. I can't wait for Black Panther, man. He's gonna be so good. All right, so now we have factions, which is Dual Helix Science, the War Council Military, and the New Coalition Alliance. So I wonder if these are kind of how things are going to consolidate in the future. I think when War Machine comes out, we may see something like the War Council Military, like a military faction kind of, come out. Because that was the one thing that was missing, right? Is like, AIM kind of takes over and has murderous robots. But where was the military and all of that? You know what I mean? Were the military complicit? Was the U.S. government kind of compromised? So I think there's potential storylines that can come out of that when War Machine comes around. You can kind of play on that and see. It'd be good to kind of get a backstory on War Machine too, because like whatever backstory War Machine has will inadvertently tie into like where was the military and what was the military doing. And it'll be really good to kind of get that clarification and everything to do with that. So. And then enemies are just an AIM logo, and then NPC, Jarvis, and then Bruce Banner. Obviously, Bruce Banner and Hulk are kind of different. You're not going to send Bruce Banner out there to fight machines. You're going to send Hulk out there to fight machines, right? So, then we have some gear. So it's fire, shock, ice, toxic. Resources, cosmic light, time shard, caveret, plasma, catalyst, repair kit, enzyme, isotope, cosmic shard, cosmic dust, cosmic spark, compound void pyramid, essence, mechanics, alloy, fiber optics, gear parts, circuitry, so that's all the resources here. I was just starting rattling them all off, you know what I mean? So the resources stuff, I think there's still stuff coming. Obviously a lot of these have kind of been changed, like mechanics has been changed to fragments, for example. Catalyst has been changed, like the look of Catalyst has changed. I imagine a lot of these have just kind of been axed. Obviously plasma has changed. The one thing I would say is with the introduction of tachyon rifts, I wouldn't be surprised if like a time shard or anything to do with like time and spatial kind of stuff like that is introduced. I know I heard some chatter around cosmic light as one that may be coming. So I would say time shard and cosmic light. Everything else, has either been changed or axed. So nothing really here, other than time shard and cosmic light as like an indication of some things that may be changing or coming to the game, I should say. Sorry. All right, so then we have serums, which is assistant, adrenaline, fortune, rejuvenation, invigoration, prosperity, awareness, and karma. I don't know what the hell any of these are. Yeah, I'm not sure about any of these. I guess these would be like stim boosts or something. Like stuff you could pick up off the ground maybe. I'm not 100% sure on any of those. And then keys, which is heroic key and then decryption key. I believe the heroic key is like a DNA key to open those DNA chests. So I believe that's that. And then Iron Man, we have some skills, energy shots, which is sensor array, missile command, tracking shots, death block, split shot, beam shot, burst fire, and micro rockets. And then I believe those are all rockets. So they just, instead of energy shots, I believe they called those just rockets, for example. And then skills, power blast, which I believe are repulsors. I think, right? So power blast, heat sink, thermal flush, ventilation coils, power pulse, conduit, and continuous fire. Okay, I was completely wrong. All right. And then flight control, micro thrusters, dash attack, turbojets, rocket burn. And then skills, arc explosion, larger radius, EMP, energy transfer, shockwave, implosion, submission field. And then arc laser blast. So these are repulsors, I believe, right? Arc laser blast, extended duration, heat burst, increased detonation, fat beam. What a name for that. Spread beam, and pulse blast. I still think a lot of the stuff that we're seeing here on like the skill logos and stuff like that could still come to the game. They have talked about, so Phil has mentioned that they are still looking at expanding skill trees, obviously. So obviously, these may not one for one come to the game, but I still think there's still kind of, that feeling that some of these could be kind of, changed around or just moved around and kind of tweaked a little to be added to the skill tree in the future. So kind of keep an eye on a lot of this stuff. Maybe you might have some insight into what's coming before anyone else does. And it looks like we are almost done here. So mission modifiers. I don't think I've seen a lot of these. So let's go through them. Annex, Argonaut, Automation, Bane, Black Hole, Blackout, Blind Spot, Blizzard, Bobblehead, Boomproof, Capacitor, Cascade, Cataclysm, Cluster, Collider, Cosmos, Confetti, Deadline, Doubloon, Drone, Echo, Extrasensory, Exo, Famine, Fireball, Fisticuffs, Flock, Flux, Forsaken, Fortune Hunter, Gibraltar, Goliath, Heavyweight, Heartache, Helix, Heroic, Horde, Incinerator, Juggler, Knockout, Landmine, Lifeline, Lightstorm, Livid, Looper, Malfunction, Maelstrom, Merciless, Meltdown, Minefield. And continue. Meridian, Needlepoint, Neutrino, Oasis, Oblivious, Obscura, Outbreak, Perseverance, Phenomenon, Pinnacle, Primer, Purge, Rush, Showdown, Showstopper, Snowball, Thermite, Titanic, Torpedo, Trooper, Triple Threat, Turmoil, Unicorn, Valkyrie, Vengeance, X-Ray, and Zombie. Whew. All right. We got through that, guys. One of the things I will say is, like, I hope that there's a lot of these still in play, because it seems like, based on what I've seen, they're reusing, again, it seems like they're reusing a lot in this game. It seems like they're reusing a lot of the same modifiers week after week. So my hope is that some of these kind of make an appearance, and we get something a little different, man. Just give us some wacky stuff, you know? I keep saying that. But give us some wacky stuff, you know? So with that being said, guys, I think that's it, man. I think that's it for everything here with regards to, you know, the leaks and everything that's come out this week. You know, this was kind of a busy week in terms of, you know, we had 1.13, which kind of, you know, changed some things, fixed some things, and kind of, you know, cleaned up the mess that, you know, kind of 1.3 never really cleaned up all the way. There was obviously the weekly blog post, and then we had a bunch of this kind of leaks and stuff like that. So I mean, this was a pretty decent week, all things to say. You know, in closing and in kind of just ending where we are with Assemble, I will say, guys, you know, it definitely seems like exotic gear is dropping from the elite heroic hives. It's dropping from the mega hives more frequently now. So if you guys are looking for things to do, definitely go and run those if you can. If I'm understanding correctly, Paul Tassi, sorry, he's running one of the missions right now. Let me go double check his Twitter before I misquote him. He's running a certain mission right now in hopes of getting an exotic. So he's playing Last Man Standing on repeat until he gets an exotic. So apparently an exotic could drop in that mission. So the Elite Heroic Hive, the Mega Hive, and Last Man Standing looks to be 3 places you may be able to get an exotic from the game. So I will leave you guys with that. Make sure if you guys are interested, you go and try and run those. And yeah, with that being said, guys, I think that's it, man. I think that's it. So with that being said, I will definitely be seeing you guys next week. I'll be seeing you guys throughout the week playing Avengers, talking about Avengers, covering Avengers. If you guys are interested in kind of, you know, staying up to date, you can, you know, if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're on, you know, Spotify or Apple iTunes, you know, make sure you follow the podcast. If you guys are interested in following the podcast on Twitter, it is AssembleCast. I don't really use that in terms of talking a lot on it. I kind of keep that more so for like releases and like certain things to do with the game. If you want to follow me on my actual Twitter, where I tweet a lot of dumb stuff, feel free. It's at HighRulerTV. You can find me most nights except for Sundays on twitch.tv/HighRuler. And with that being said, guys, I will see you guys later on in the week for more Avenger stuff. I will see you guys next weekend for another episode of Assemble. And with that being said, it's always been a pleasure. And stay safe out there, and I will see you next time. Peace out.